Wild Canyon Games sleeper event. Sleeper, you ask? You bet. This is a 5-hour race of up and down the mountain as many times as you can to get as many caches as possible. This is going to kick some of your butts. Let me give you a little bit of history. We've got a grid of 70 square miles and 350 caches for you to try to get. And in the past, teams have gone out and in just 4 hours they've been able to collect as many as 15 caches. So we'll see what you can do this year. I want to introduce you to some team members that have been working on the Wild Canyon Games event with me to create the world-class event that this is. Not only is it a world-class event, this is the largest grid in the world. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that you're going to be covering here that my team members will cover. Geocache types and what to do with them, GPS types, capacities and use, terrain and personal preparation, safety and awareness, rules and scoring. Take it away, team.
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm known as Pablo Mac on Geocaching.com. I'm going to show you some of the containers we're using out here at Wild Canyon Games and then how those containers are typically hidden around here. This is an old style container. Looks like some kind of a plastic peanut butter jar. Of course, you just unscrew the lid. And inside the lid will be the code that you need for the cache that you're finding. Again, we're phasing these out though. This is the new style. Nice PVC, nice camo paint job, a lot more durable out there in the sun and the weather. You just grab both ends and give it a twist, and one end will twist off, of course, and inside the lid of this will be your code for this cache. Put it back together just like so. Next, I'll show you how these are hidden out here. You might find a container as easy to find as this. One of the important things is, once you find a cache container, is to always put it back just the way you found it. Kind of resist the temptation to hide it better than you found it. That goes for the games and for real life geocaching in general. Some caches are more difficult to find than others, but when you do find it, try to take a mental note of how it's hidden. So when you hide it the same way you found it. The sun does play havoc on cache containers, so we try to put them on the north side of rock faces, trees, etc., etc. If you see one laying out in the open, though, go ahead and hide it as close by as you can, cover it up with something reasonable to protect from the sun, but not so ridiculous that the next person can't find it. Of course, always be careful where you're sticking your hands. And also, please make sure you hide it the same way you found it. Thanks.
Hi, my name's Pete. If you haven't selected a GPS device for your team, you're going to need to get cracking. Time's running out and you're going to want to learn how to use your device before you get out here. Just loading the coordinates on and showing up isn't going to be enough. You're going to want to know how to load coordinates on manually in the field, because not all of the quick geocaches are going to be loaded from the site. There are geocaches where you're going to be going from cache to cache and have to enter coordinates manually. So entering coordinates, knowing what the screens mean, going from screen to screen, you're going to want to have a GPS that has topo maps on it, not just street maps, or at the very least have a very good topo map with you and know how to use it with your GPS device. Now, GPSs can cost everywhere from $100 to $500. A $100 GPS will get you there, but make sure it has the features that you need and you're comfortable with. Some people are even using iPhones now, but make sure that the maps are loaded before you come out here, because there's not going to be internet service out here at the ranch. And so you'll want to look at the set of coordinates and load up a set of maps. There's all kinds of software out there that'll do that for you. I'm not going to get into that. I'll let you do your own research. But the iPhone is a really good piece of equipment for doing geocaching. You just got to make sure you're prepared. Also, it's not a bad idea to have a good battery backup, because in 5 hours of geocaching, that battery can die. I actually had mine die out here today placing caches. So if you're going to use the iPhone, make sure you got good batteries, make sure you got your maps preloaded, and all your coordinates are going to want to be loaded before you get out here on the ranch. Now that goes for whatever device you have. Now the GPS devices that you're purchasing, in addition to all the features that you're going to want to look at, like maps, digital compass, altimeter, color screens, and cameras built in GPSs, you're going to want to just make sure you got a cable, because not all of them come with a cable, and you want to load your coordinates onto your GPS unit as soon as you can, so you can start studying the terrain and picking out what geocaches that you're going to go for. Well, that's about it. Hope you have a really good time out there, and be safe. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Brian. My geocaching name is Our Web Stop.
I'm Mitch, and my geocaching name is Scuba Freak.
We've been geocaching for 6 or 7 years, and we've come out here to help set up caches for you at Wild Canyon Games. The terrain out here is beautiful, but there are some issues that you need to pay attention to for safety. We're going to go over some of those with you right now.
Alright, you're going to want to be careful around steep cliffs. The rocks are very fragile. Falling rocks are a danger. You want to be careful about that. If there's people up above you looking for something, they might start kicking stuff down. So helmets aren't a bad idea.
There is some wildlife out here that you should be aware of. You can get into ticks down by the water, especially in tall grass. Make sure you check yourself for that afterwards. Just feel around under your ears, around the back of your head and in your scalp. Maybe have a partner help you look. Ticks aren't a problem if you get them out. If you have troubles getting them out, go see the medical center and they'll help you. Other things we've seen here are scorpions. Typically they're under rocks. I don't see why you'd need to be looking under rocks. Don't be looking under rocks like this and sticking your hands under there until you take a good look. Another thing is holes. Sometimes caches can be found around the entrance of a hole or kind of a little crevice. Don't stick your hand in there without taking a look. Reaching in here for a cache, you might find a snake. That's one of the reasons I like to take sticks, hiking poles. If you need to look into a crevice or a hole, just probe it like that first to make sure there's nothing in there.
God! No. God. Ow, ow, ow. God.
What do I do now? We gotta get out of here.
Yeah. Is it sticking out? Don't touch it! No! God!
We better deploy the emergency marker.
Okay.
Each team will get an emergency marker as part of the kit to take out with them.
The emergency signals have a black side and a white side. We want you to put the white side up, just roll it out, anchor the ends with rocks, and you might put a rock in the middle. These emergency markers are designed to be seen from the air, so we'll have a plane in the air looking for these throughout the event. Once you've placed an emergency marker, be sure you stay there and don't move it. Emergency markers can be used for injuries where you need help getting out, or if you get lost and time's running down and you need help getting back because of that.
Once you've deployed the marker, we have an airplane in the air during the whole geocaching event. And they'll see that and radio the coordinates in to a team that can come out and render assistance. So once the marker is deployed, stay with it. If you come across someone who has a marker deployed, just turn the game off and lend them a hand. Mark a waypoint on your GPS and come in and get help for them. Leave the pair together at the site.
Shouldn't we go up to the top of the hill so they can see us better?
Once you've deployed your emergency marker, don't move it. Because if the airplane sees it and has the coordinates and the team gets here to help you and you're not here, they don't know where you are anymore. So stay with it and leave it in place. Remember, you're going to be outside for a good 5 hours, and the weather here is typically like it is now, blue sky and sunny. Highly recommend you have a hat to shade your face, and definitely bring sunscreen. Other things you might use are hiking sticks. Make sure you bring plenty of water and good hiking boots. couple of things to consider while you're out here. Not a lot of people go out running over this kind of terrain for 5 straight hours in the sun. During that last hour, you're going to be pretty tired. Be careful. Maybe it's better to go around the hill than up and straight over it. Lots of twisted ankles could occur. Another thing is make sure you stay hydrated. You can dry out here and take plenty of water. There will be water stations out and about. The water stations are worth points, just like any other cache. Work those into your plan. Remember to pace yourself. There's an event later in the afternoon after the geocaching event as well. Save yourself. Other than that, be safe, go out and have fun, score some points.
Howdy. My name's Chris. Been working with Wild Canyon Games for a bit. Here's some of the terrain you'll see on your geocaching adventure. Let's go. All right, wave. Good job.
Hello and welcome. Here's what we normally carry in our backpacks here at Wild Canyon Games. You'll notice that they're mainly the hydration packs. They're lightweight, easy to use. They have open spot for a water bladder, which gives you plenty of liquids to drink during your trek. You can also carry regular water. There will be water stations out in the field. This will help you along your way. You'll have your GPS. Make sure before you head out that you have enough battery power, and if it is a GPS powered by batteries, make sure you bring extras. Thirdly, we have a safety blanket. They're generally about $1. They're not very heavy. They will be used in emergency situations. They'll help keep heat into your body if you need it. Whistles. Well, I got 3 here. 2 of them have compasses within them, but they're good for signaling when you are in trouble. They all make about the same noise. Flashlights. Well, there's many different kinds of flashlights out there. Big, bulky ones, or headlamps. You want to be carrying at least one or two. Knives. Well, a couple of lightweight knives will be your best friend out there. We got a carabiner type of knife. We've got a regular lightweight knife here. Lightweight gloves. Now these will help you when you're climbing out those rocks out there. They don't weigh that much and they'll keep your skin on your hands. Heat source. Now if you're out there and an emergency comes, it's always good to have either waterproof matches or an ignition source. So be able to cut some of that and make yourself a flame. Ace bandage. This can be used to wrap up injured arms, injured legs. 101 uses, about a couple of ounces. Survival kit. Now these have many different options within them, but some of the best survival kits have just a simple basics. A candle, an extra flashlight, some band-aids, a whistle, extra batteries, and a multi-tool, all within a waterproof case. You may also want to bring extra batteries. You may want to bring some medicinal like biofreeze pain relieving gel. Also, deep woods off or something along those lines to keep the critters off you. Last but not least, a couple of unmentionables. You may want to bring a smaller roll of TP and a shovel. That'll help you out when you most need it. And finally, chapstick. That will help you out when everything gets too hot. This is just a sampling of some of the things that we've been carrying out at Wild Canyon Games. You might bring some extras, you might not bring as much, but please be smart about it. Thank you for watching and have an enjoyable adventure.
At sign-in, please be ready to provide a list of 3 caches that you'll be looking for. This way, we'll have a rough idea of where each team will be. Locate as many caches as possible within the 5-hour time limit that starts right at 7 a.m. All 4 members of the team must return by the end time of the event at 12 noon in order to avoid penalties. If you come in late but are within 10 minutes of the finish time, 10% of your points will be deducted. If you're up to 20 minutes late, 20% of your points will be deducted. Up to 30 minutes late, and 30% of your points will be deducted. After 30 minutes late, your team will lose all of its points, and emergency search procedures will start. Each registered team will have 4 participants in the geocaching event. Usually, teams compete by dividing into 2 different 2-person teams. Teams are not allowed to split into single competitors while in the field. Violations will result in disqualification from the geocaching event, and no points will be awarded to the entire 4-person team.
Thanks for going through our video training. Welcome to the 2011 Wild Canyon Games Geocache event. We've worked hard to make this one of the best weekends for you guys. Go out, have a great time, be safe, and remember, what limits?